There's no easy way out. I just wanna know there's no easy way out. No easy way out. I'm not asking for another chance.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the No Easy Way Out podcast. My name is Tony Nash and we are coming to you as always from the Woodworth building, beautiful downtown Owasso, home to my company AZ Branding Solutions, where we help grow your brand from A to Z. So my guest today is someone that is very familiar in the building. We see him all the time. He's just our neighbor here. Of course, you've probably seen him around the community a lot. You can't miss him. He's a big, tall guy. He works with one of our favorite clients, someone that we worked with a long time, and we've had his boss on the podcast a couple of times, and that is the one and only Mr. Leo Deason. Leo, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
It's great to have you, man. And I'm excited about the big things you got going and the things that you're doing. So before we get into all the things with Woodworth Commercial, as well as the your work with the fire department, why don't you tell our audience a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. I grew up pretty locally, mid-Michigan. Grew up over in Williamston, Michigan. Ended up moving to Owasso 5-6 years ago and working in the commercial real estate industry. Long-standing family background in service. So, grandparents, everything like that, were all in the fire service, joined up. Really very involved in the community. I love doing that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. We appreciate your service to the community. And of course, a lot of people might, know your dad because he was very involved with the chamber. He was, very responsible for getting the armory up and running, which was a huge, big thing for the community, big win for the community. And of course, president of the chamber for years. And so, famous bass player for several bands, the Dirt Surfers
the
most
Dirt
noticeably,
Surfers.
notably. So, and he could rock a pink suit like no one I've ever seen.
Oh, that he can.
But he's now in Hawaii.
He is.
And
He's on the Big Island.
You're still back here in Michigan. But how did you get going with Woodworth Commercial and kind of what is your role there?
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually was studying engineering. I was in college. I was working an engineering job, and I just didn't like it. I hated going to work. Yeah, it wasn't for me. I was in a cubicle. It just really wasn't. I mean, as you guys know, I'm a social person. I love being out in front of people. I love, making impacts day to day. And being in a cubicle was slowly sucking the life out of me. Yep. So I met Randy actually through my dad. I think the first time we officially had a conversation was at a chamber golf outing event, in which I kind of just told Randy hey, I don't love what I'm doing. And he was like, hey, we've always got room for guys that are willing to take the jump. And a week later, I was a real estate agent ready to go and in his office learning as much as I could.
Now you're killing it in the real estate game, not just helping other people, but even in your own life, making real estate investments and working on that first gen wealth, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You were just on Randy's podcast recently. So, you made the jump from engineering and working in the cubicle, which I totally get. I did that for a while and I felt like the walls were closing in on me every day. Mm-hmm. And it was a super easy job, but just I need to be up and around and talking to people and, like you said, making an impact, doing things that mean something to me. And so what is it that you like most about now working in the real estate world? What do you enjoy most about that?
So personally, I love seeing my friends succeed and seeing my friends make their dreams come true. I'm kind of getting to the age right now. I'm late 20s. A lot of my friends are between 25 and 35, right? So a lot of them have kind of taken their first steps into the business world and then they're starting to do their own thing. So my personal favorite thing about real estate is I get to be that voice of hey, you can do this. Hey, you can, these are avenues that you can go down. And with that, I've gotten to see some close friends meet their dreams,
amazing.
And really coach them through that stuff, which is absolutely my favorite part of the job.
So tell us, going back to Woodworth Commercial, tell us, I know we've had Randy on a couple times and Randy's, he's always all over the place talking about himself and what Woodworth does. But, from your words, what are some of the things that Woodworth Commercial offers and who is somebody listening that should reach out to Woodworth Commercial?
So anybody looking to take that first step, right, is kind of who we are looking to talk to. I deal a lot in like small retail, first startups, people who they have no idea what they want to do, but they know they want to do something. So I would say like our specialty is small community development. We love working in these communities that, have a small individual, like I would like to open a coffee shop, right? We've got Foster's we worked with, Black Dog Coffee out of Eaton Rapids. These companies are people that they have this dream, they have this vision. They don't necessarily know exactly what their first steps are, or they're still at a farmer's market. They're looking at brick and mortar, and we are that avenue for a lot of people on like, hey, let's build a strategy for you.
Yeah.
Let's take that next step.
Or even knowing like where do I even begin when it comes to looking for commercial space? Like, do I have to buy it? Can I lease it? What does a lease look like? What are the benefits of buying versus leasing?
Right.
And there are, it is a big contrast. And there are some times where leasing is the right move, and there are some times where buying is the right move. And a lot of times people don't know that. And I know Woodworth Commercial has helped me through every step of the process. We started 8 years ago. I have a little closet in my house. I got to a point where I couldn't work at home, and Randy found me like literally a janitor's closet in the Exchange building that they cleaned out, painted, put some carpeting in.
Love it.
And it was like 8 by 8, just me, Then I hired an employee and realized I needed something bigger. He found me something up on the 3rd floor with a window, and it was like
Ooh,
a 12
window.
by 12,
Nice.
moving on up, almost doubled my space. And I had a window to look out of. And then we need another space, so he got me the space next door. And then he came to me and he's like, hey, we're doing this project for the armory. And he goes, I think it'd be a good fit for you. And of course, I looked at it and the price. I'm like, there's no way I could afford that. Mm-hmm. He's like, well, we're talking, it's 2 years away. And I think that you're going to be there in 2 years. So even the fact that he approached me 2 years before I was even thinking about, like I was just trying to figure out how I'm going to afford the space I'm in now. But he knew of my vision. And so he came to me and is like, I think this would be good for you. Now, I know he's trying to get leases signed, but he's thinking about how to help me grow. And so I signed the pre-lease, and he's like, you can back out if you need to, but you're not going to need to. And by the time the armory opened, we jumped in. Mm-hmm. And we started to outgrow that really quick. And then he showed me the space that we're in now. And first it was going to be the one next door, and I think BitLift was going to be in here. And then BitLift backed out, and I'm like, I want this. Can I afford it? And he's like, no, you can't afford it, but let's talk about how we can get you there. And he worked with me on a tiered lease program and helped me make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
And helped me make the dream. And then, of course, we bought the print shop, which he was the owner of. And he called me about John Hankert selling that building and said, hey, I think this would be a good fit for you. And then Darker moved out. And I'm like, oh, it'd be great to have all my people under one roof. And so I called Randy. He's like, dude, we just got into this one. But he helped me every step of the way. And I'm not trying to necessarily inflate Randy's ego any more than it needs to be, but just the fact that like he's been very much a part of the growth of my business.
Oh, absolutely.
And Woodworth Commercial. And there's been many times where he's had me work with his guys, and we worked with you. And just you guys are always so good at, helping see not just where we are, but where we're going and how to facilitate that and work with us. And of course, Woodworth has been a client of ours since the very beginning of our business. It was the first website I ever built was Woodworth Commercial's website.
That's awesome.
For a company, So
that's so important, right? I mean, we see the value in that every day, right? I don't really care about signing a lease and making $500. I care about seeing this company grow and signing the next lease and the next lease and showing them how, powerful their business can grow.
Well, and there's been, in 8 years of being a business, there's been 8 to 10 moments where Woodworth Commercial was extremely instrumental in us taking the next step and helping us and making us believe we could do it. And so I think the value of working with you guys is not just, well, here's a broker, I'm going to show me a space and I'll get the key and unlock it and I'll let you look at it.
Right.
Like you guys are actually, you hear like, here's my business idea, and you guys are actively looking for spaces that would fit their budget and their size and even maybe stretch them a little bit to facilitate growth. And so I just appreciate the relationship with Woodworth Commercial. It's been absolutely, crucial to our growth. And, we are just getting started here. We feel like we have a huge vision for where we want to go. And I was just talking to a new client of ours about, the basement where we're screen printing. And I'm already thinking about how we're going to blow out the walls and fill up that whole other side of that basement with automatic screen printers. And, obviously we got to get the work first, but
it'll come.
Knowing that no matter what we do, we're on a long-term lease here, but I know that if there comes a point where we're just like, this isn't working, Woodworth Commercial is going to help us find the next thing. And so I appreciate the relationship. I appreciate working with you guys and what you guys do. And I just think it's awesome. So I would say to those listening, if you have an idea, but you don't know where to go, you're really good at, you make the best cookies that have ever been made. I don't know if we need another bakery in town, but just an example.
Yeah.
You have the best cookies that ever made, and you know that there's a business idea there. And, I would say reach out to Woodworth, tell them what you want, and they're going to be able to help you start small and grow where you need to go.
Absolutely.
And call Leo. Leo's super helpful. Randy's too busy. What's going on today? Like right now, what's going on with Woodworth Commercial that that the community should really know about, or some things coming up, or maybe some buildings coming, the businesses coming that people should get excited about?
So one that I've been super excited about is the addition of Sakura. So Sakura is a hibachi sushi and Thai restaurant.
Yes.
We're doing the build out right now. Things are starting about within a week.
Where Lula's used to be, right?
Where Lula's used to be. So South Washington Street. And I've had their food before. It's phenomenal. I'm super excited to see them come to Owasso.
Do they do sushi?
They do.
Oh, I love
they
sushi.
do phenomenal sushi. And their hibachi, like New York strip bowls for $16. I mean, delicious food, and it's like not priced the way that you would expect.
For Owasso.
Exactly. Their first location's in Jackson. And my first experience there, I was so blown away. I was like, we got to have this, right?
Awesome.
So we worked really hard. We got that going. Another great new development that just dropped today is that Corey Shook of buying the Matthews building just closed on it.
Yeah.
Super.
And this will be airing. This will be airing a little bit later. So this
Right.
is old news, not old news, but this has already happened, so it's safe to do it. But yeah, the super exciting thing.
Yeah,
Super
absolutely.
exciting thing.
We're super excited. Corey Shook's been, instrumental in our community for developing things that,
sure.
Blighted properties and taking them and having vision.
She's a visionary. Yep.
She's great at that. So, we love working with that too.
Yep.
That's part of our general plan is like, we want to bring these communities up, and she's an excellent person to do that.
Well, and even if you're not looking to start a business, you're just looking for a good investment.
Absolutely.
Woodworth Commercial specializes in helping with that as well. And that's kind of where Randy is with me right now in this journey of, now that we've got the space and we don't foresee needing new space for a very long time, now he's really pushing me to start investing in real estate and, having that passive income that everybody talks about. And so always kind of pushing me to get out of my comfort zone. And so, I think that, if, review from Tony Nash and AZ Branding Solutions, if that's you, anything that we just talked about describes you, you got to start there. Give them a call, talk to them, and they're going to actively help you with that process.
Absolutely. And that's kind of one of the, I would say, like, misconceptions that I deal with a lot is like, I've helped people with nearly no money invest, right? There are ways to get into real estate that you wouldn't even consider, or most people just wouldn't know. And that's what I love to do. I want to see my friends get deals. I want to see people I know succeed and take that next step and build these investment accounts. So investing is a big part of what I do personally, and it's a big part of what I teach.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, give them a call. Absolutely. I think it's a must if that's you and that describes you, or if you're a little hesitant, they'll help you get that little bit of courage that it takes to take the next step. Side note, do you have any idea what's going in across from Home Depot, that big build out there?
You'll never guess.
It's not another pot shop, is it? Oh my goodness. How many? It's big. It's a huge building. So how many does this little community need?
We've all been trying to reach the owners of that one. So if he sees this podcast, give us a call.
Okay.
But I believe there's going to be 3 or 4 suites there, and the pot shop, I think, is only going to take 1 or 2 of those.
Gotcha.
But that's as
type.
far as in terms of information as we could get.
Just curious.
Yeah.
Just curious. Yeah, it seems like we're a little saturated in that area in the market, but hey,
it is,
I'm sure somebody did a study and they know what they're doing. So
yeah.
All right. So on top of, commercial real estate and the things that you do there, you also are a firefighter.
I am.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So I've been in the fire service for about 5 years now. Also an EMT, and really got into it. My grandparents on both sides were fire chiefs. So my mom's my mom's dad was fire chief of Redford, and my dad's grandfather was fire chief of Lansing. So it was kind of a family thing. None of my relatives did it. My uncles, nieces, nephews, nobody's really taken the torch. And I just saw it as a huge opportunity to carry on the family tradition and the family name of service. So got into it, met with Mike Ardeline, chief of Wasso Township Fire, and told him like, hey, I'm super interested. And right away he was like, hey man, young guys, we need them. And we always do. So if you guys ever do know of anybody that's like, hey, this guy is a servant to his community and he could be helpful. There's a lot of things you can do on a fire department. So, join the fire service. I love it. It's one of my passions and joys in life is getting to help. I've been less able to do as much of it now,
Sure.
just because the real estate is so big. I mean, I was working till 10 o'clock last night.
Yeah,
Like
I get it.
Part of it, it's you got to have the family and the work that pays the bills first. But
Sure.
I couldn't imagine what my life would be like without that service. It forms who I am.
Yeah. Part of your core values.
Right.
We appreciate your service and what you're doing
Thanks.
there. And I think obviously everybody should find a way to give back. Talk to my kids about this. I'm actually teaching a class at my church to young college age students. And one of the things we're talking about is whatever you determine your life's purpose is going to be, your career, the way you're going to make money, there should always be something in there that you're doing that's not just to serve yourself.
Right.
You're serving your community or serving your family or serving your church. Like it will complete you as an individual. It will make you have a more fulfilled life if you're giving of your time and talents to help something else besides you. And if you're only the type of person that's serving yourself, whether that be just, I want to get this fat bank account, so I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get that and not think about how that is impacting others. And sometimes a fat bank account can really help other people. So there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that purpose has to be balanced with a mission to serve and give back.
I think purpose is the right word. Like I don't think without service to other people, what is purpose?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like I don't exist on this world for myself.
Right.
So, and
But that's becoming a lost trait these days.
It is.
There's a lot of self-service out there.
And I think that is a big contributor to a lot of issues that we have, right? Is that like people, they find this like inward tract of like, man, I'm struggling with depression. I'm struggling with anxiety. And not to discount those things, but I've found that like when I have the most struggles with that kind of thing, me servicing others and servicing my community is like a way to foster this hope of grand gesture, right?
Absolutely.
Building up a community is something that it builds a lot of purpose.
Yeah, and I think the philosophy of in life, be part of the solution, not part of the problem.
Exactly.
You see things you don't like in your community, you see things you don't like in your family, your marriage, your business, then everybody can point out issues.
Right.
That's not hard. But being the type of person that doesn't just point out the issues, but has a solution. And I think, even me, like there's some confusion locally here about this new parking ordinance.
Absolutely.
About commercial vehicles. And I have a commercial vehicle that's gotten 8 tickets, and there's the ordinance says that this does not apply to commercial vehicles. It's registered as a commercial vehicle. It's insured as a commercial vehicle. Talked to the parking guy. He said that that really only applies to like FedEx and that type. So maybe I have it wrong. Mm-hmm. But what I've been advised by the city is I need to go to city council. So I've already determined that when I do that, I'm not going to just go present an issue. But I'm trying to think of, here are some proposed solutions to make this better for everybody.
Absolutely.
They may not take those. They may say, thank you for your time, and it might just go by the wayside. But I'm not going to just be the person that goes and complains.
Right.
I want to go say, all right, there's a lot of people that feel different ways about this parking situation. It's a tense issue. Some people think it's great. Some people think it's dumb. Some people think it's unnecessary. Regardless, I have my own opinions, but if I'm going to go present a problem, I also want to come with a solution. So I just think in life, I try to make it a practice to not just be a complainer,
right,
or someone that's always sees the negative, but how can I use my time, talents, treasure to improve the situation?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think the parking thing is a great,
Yeah.
it's a great problem right now because it's very highlighted in our community.
Well, for sure. I mean, obviously, I think the philosophy of having a place for our customers first and foremost is absolutely key. We need to.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of debate on whether or not that's a real issue. Do people not have a place to park? It seems like on Ball Street, which is right next to us, there's plenty of parking.
Right.
But, some people have clearly said that it's not. And so I believe
just think
that.
like in terms of your solution thing, I would have zero issue paying a yearly parking pass fee or something along those lines. It's just like right now filming this podcast, we're going to be in here for a couple hours. My car's parked outside. I'm probably getting a ticket.
And I have clients that come into our business. We're not a come in and shop. We're come in and let's spend a half a day planning strategically. So I have customers in here. Like I just had a customer that was here for almost 3 hours doing a podcast and doing a tour. I don't know if they got a ticket or not, but that wasn't a great customer experience for them. If I tell them to park 2 blocks away, they're a customer also. So there's that challenge. And also I've had several of the businesses now that are in front of the parking lot where we're all supposed to park that are saying now their customers don't have anywhere to park. So, I've gone there and that parking lot's been full. Meanwhile, Ball and Exchange are wide open.
Right.
So again, like it's easy to say, here's the problem, but
always easy
provide
to point
some solutions.
at
So
issues.
I've come up with a couple things that I'm going to present, and we'll see what happens. But as a part of this community, I don't want to perpetuate a problem. I want to help solutions. So
Absolutely.
I think I like where we're taking this. I don't think we intended to kind of talk about that, but I think it's an important mindset for people to have, to be willing to give back, to serve, and especially, in your community. It's a place
to get involved. I mean, like you said, city council, I don't know that many friends that are my age that go to city council meetings.
Right.
It's your community.
Right.
Go get involved.
And someday it's going to be your kids' community.
Exactly.
So how are you leaving it for them?
Exactly. And these things aren't set in stone. It's a committee of people that are for the community. Like you go there to pitch your ideas, you bounce things off. Sometimes they stick, sometimes they don't, but it's like big picture. If you want to be a part of what this community looks like 5 years from now, being involved is important.
Get involved. Yep, absolutely. So word to the wise, if we cut the podcast there, that was great. I think that was great advice, not just because we gave it, but something that it's proven, and it's impacted both of us and our community as well. And we're really big on, what we can do to give back to the community. So I want to move on to a segment that we've introduced this year. It's called 50 Questions. People think this is a long segment. It really goes quick because it's rapid fire questions, but this just gives our audience, the opportunity to get to know you really well in a short amount of time. So we're going to fire them off. Are you ready?
Fire away.
All right. How did you start your day today?
I started my day today with a shower and a yogurt.
Good start to the day.
It was a great day.
We love the mustache, perfect for a firefighter. How long
you.
did it take you to grow that beautiful mustache?
12 minutes, 58 seconds.
That's quick.
I sneezed before the podcast and it was gone.
If you could spend the day with anyone in the world, who would that be?
Alive or dead?
Alive.
Alive. I would say, I think I would be good friends with Jack Black.
That's a good
I would
one.
like to hang out with Jack Black.
What
for a
would
day.
you do with Jack Black?
Honestly, I want to just I think he'd be a great friend. I think we'd jam out. We'd play some music. I like his presence with people. He seems to be a sunshine to the world. I think we'd be homies very, very quickly.
Love that. What is one thing you'd love to master?
I would love to master welding.
I think I've ever heard that one before. That's a good one.
I'm very, I think that welding is an art. I would like to know how to do it.
All right. This is a Casey question. Were you a cat, a dog, or a moose in your previous life?
Moose.
A moose. Of course. You can
For
see it.
sure.
Are you a caller or a texter?
Caller.
Who's the last person you called?
My mom.
Where were
It's
you?
every day.
Yeah, good for you, man. Where were you born and raised?
Williamson, Michigan.
What is your favorite guitar that you own?
Ooh, I own it's like a 50s, probably like a 56, 57 Tiesco guitar. It's an old Spanish electric guitar. Very cool.
Pretty cool. Mm-hmm. So do you play, what type of guitar do you play? Any type of guitar?
Yeah, honestly, I'm like just good enough to sound great on a lot of instruments, but I'm not like phenomenal. I wouldn't take the
Gotcha.
stage typically, but
Like Dad?
yeah.
What's the most annoying thing that Randy Woodworth does in the office? We all got to know.
Ooh.
Don't get yourself in trouble, but give us the tea.
So this one's more recent. There's been this habit of he shuts his door for a meeting. In my office is, if you know,
Right there.
right next to it.
Yep.
He shuts his door for a meeting, and then he yells through the door and the wall to like get your attention, and it'll just be like you'll hear Leo, 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 and it just starts getting like louder and louder
Just
until
let
I'm
it go.
like, oh yeah,
Let it
like,
go. Yeah. Tell him he needs to get an intercom system.
right.
What listing do you have right now that has the most potential upside?
Ooh, upside. Well, we are just about to list one of my personal properties. That it's going to be 115 East Main Street. Hasn't hit the market yet, but we've been talking about putting that online. That's got 4 apartments and a commercial user. It's all leased up. It's like a turnkey, ready to go building. So
Awesome. What type of business do you want to see in that space? Or, ideally, what are some things you'd like to see?
So that space, it has a kitchen. Right now it's K9 University. Love those guys. They use the space.
We designed their
for-
logo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have fun with that.
Yeah. They're just like the nicest family, and I love their business. I just love the kitchen too. So I want to figure out a way. I don't care. I've been trying to get them to like, you guys make dog biscuits. Like do something with the kitchen.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I would love to see more food options in Owasso.
For sure. What have you done for the very first time recently?
Fished the Shiawassee River.
Right.
So I went fly fishing probably 5 or 6 years ago in the Chi, but like this is the first time that I've ever just been like, all right, I'm gonna go fishing. I went with David Hood Jr.
Yeah, I think I saw you guys post some stuff about that.
Yeah, we went and ripped a couple lips for a few hours, and
Lip ripping.
yeah, it was a great time.
In 10 years, what will you regret doing way too much of?
Honestly, probably poking and scrolling. I do a little bit of doom scrolling, especially like laying in bed at night. I've probably lost like an hour of sleep every night because I just like I lay down and get caught up with the Facebook and
Easy. TikTok is the worst because like if YouTube, all the videos like 20, 30 minutes, like I'm not going to click on a 20, 30 minute video. But with TikTok, you can burn through 20, 30 minutes like 15 seconds at a time or 30 seconds. You don't realize like how much time you're burning.
TikTok is the most dangerous thing.
Yeah. Highly, if you've never used it, don't start. It's highly addictive.
I can't stop. It's worse than nicotine, man.
I'm there with you, man. Let's see here. And if you could resurrect, this goes back to kind of what we were talking about earlier. If you could resurrect one person from history and place them in today's world, who would that be?
Let me think about that one. Come back to that one.
Okay. What is your favorite thing about Owasso?
I love Owasso's people. The downtown is a very tight-knit community.
What is a perfect dessert for Leo Deason?
Chocolate chip cookies, specifically Lily's.
Some milk.
Oh, yeah. But Lily's chocolate chip cookies don't need milk.
Yeah. You get me off on a tangent here, but, you don't really need to do much with the cookie other than it's chocolate chip. You don't need oatmeal, raisins,
nothing else.
frosting.
The right texture.
Chocolate chip. That's
chip.
it. That's a
That's
cookie.
it.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. What is the strangest nickname that you've ever been given?
My nickname in high school and still my gamer tag on Xbox is Red Rocket.
Red Rocket?
Yep, that was always one of them. So one of my friends calls me
Solid.
Lunchbox.
That's solid. What is the most important quality that a successful person should have?
I think the most important quality is happiness.
Agreed. Highly underrated quality.
Highly
What is
underrated.
a daily habit everyone should do?
Everyone should take 2 minutes and just like think about their entire day, map it out, put it in your schedule, whatever, and then just like unplug for 2 minutes. I usually take about 15 minutes. I do it every morning. I shower. I stand in front of the mirror. I get my calendar out, make sure I get everything squared away. And then I just take 5 minutes. I go get a cup of coffee, have a yogurt, whatever, but I don't touch my phone. I don't think about anything but that breakfast.
I think a lot of people have the to-do list. I'm a big fan of the today list, I call it. So what do I have to get done today? Because the to-do list is ending,
Right.
never ending. But the today list is very important. What is your favorite fast food?
I'm a big Taco Bell guy.
Yeah,
Cheesy gordita crunch, man. Which,
beef supreme chalupa.
oh, nice. That is also good. I mean the whole menu. I could have the whole menu. I love Taco Bell.
It's good and not good for you.
Right. I would argue it's the best for you out of any of them. Like, I mean,
Well, it'll keep the
tortillas are
digestive
less
system.
carbs.
It'll keep the digestive system
That's
moving
true.
for sure.
That's
You almost
true.
have to eat it on the toilet. What is your go-to karaoke song, Leo?
Ooh, I have two. I big fan of Tub Thumping. Like, I get knocked down.
Okay.
Love that one.
All right.
Also Send Me on My Way, Rusted Roots. That's
Oh.
a big crowd pleaser.
Those are tough karaoke songs.
They are, but I'm an entertainer.
Yeah, I see.
I
You're
want
man
to
of
be
the
up
people.
there cutting a rug, you know?
I can't wait to see that. I'd like to see that someday.
Set it up. Get a AZ karaoke night going.
As a local fireman, do you have a friendly rivalry with any particular police officer?
Ooh, so my girlfriend's brother is a detective for the troopers, and we have some stories.
Has some rivalries.
Yeah,
though?
I could reference some dash cam footage of some scenes we were on.
We won't make you do that.
Oh, love it.
Who is your favorite person to FaceTime?
So I have a friend, Chase Robinson. He's probably my favorite. We have this habit where I don't FaceTime a lot of people, but whenever we're in a bad situation, we FaceTime each other. So like if he wrecks his car, he'll be sitting in the ditch upside down, and I'll get a FaceTime call. His hair will be hanging up. Like it's just like a funny thing we do, but we've done it over the years.
Favorite sport?
Big golfer.
Favorite way to spend a Sunday?
Man, right lately it's been fishing, golfing. Might hit little video games, get some relaxing time.
Sounds great. Describe yourself as a kid.
I was a lot as a kid.
High energy.
High energy, ADHD. I'm all over the place. I'm sure I was a lot, but I was happy. I was nice, you know.
Yeah.
I wasn't like a big troublemaker, but I was a lot.
I'm sure there are some epic jam sessions throughout history with Jeff Deason,
Oh yeah.
aka Pops. What is your guys' best song to play together that just it makes beautiful music?
My favorite song that we've ever played together. At one time, I went down and sang "Creep" with my dad, and he had the whole Dirt Surfers crew, and like we were jamming out. And that was probably like my favorite.
That was the moment?
Yeah, that was my
the
favorite
moment?
little moment, just in the basement, you know.
Yes. Well, if you have the video, send it. We'll pop it in the podcast
Oh, okay,
here. Yeah.
okay.
What advice would you give to your 16-year-old self?
Don't sell your first car, you idiot.
What was
Why
it?
did you sell it? It was my 1978 Chevy Malibu. Got it when I was
Wow.
13.
Two-door?
Yup, two-door. I built it. It was 455 big block Pontiac.
Wow.
I mean, it was an awesome car, and I was so broke in college that like the muscle car had to go, and I still regret it.
For years and years, I drove a minivan because I have all these kids, you know. And at one point, we had 2 minivans. And we got to the point where we outgrew the minivan and, we had the SUV, but I, still didn't have my own cool car. And I hadn't had a cool car since high school. So I bought a Camaro.
Love
and
it.
I loved it. But then I had the opportunity to buy the print shop, and I needed some cash. So I sold the Camaro, and I miss it every day.
Yeah.
And now I'm driving a minivan. And I drive the AZ van everywhere because, when you're a business owner, that's what you do, right?
Right. You'll get another Camaro someday.
Someday.
I'm telling myself I'll get a Malibu as well.
Yes. When is the first time you truly felt successful?
But, honestly, it was probably like my first deal in real estate. It was not a big money deal, but it was like seeing like a tenant like cry, like literally this girl was like crying. She was like, "This is my first step as a business owner," and it like clicked with me. It was like,
This is it.
This is a purpose, right? Yeah. This is something I can do for people.
Of that. What is a must-read book?
I just did 75 hard, so I read a lot of books during that time.
Yes.
I would say The 4 Agreements.
Okay.
I think was probably my favorite.
I'll have to check that one out. Favorite podcast?
I got to plug this one.
Oh, wow. Hear that, Randy? I have video footage of Randy saying that this is his favorite podcast.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you started it all, right?
I have video, and then so now that he has his own, I'm like, I'm gonna play that back, like Randy.
Yeah, I listened to this one. I listened to The Art of Charm is another great podcast.
Huh?
They just go into like psychology of knowing people and how to build friends and networks, and
Very cool.
I love that one as well.
You're stranded on an island, one album for the rest of your life. What do you got?
Am I trying to get off the island or no?
You're stranded, man. This is it. The only album you're gonna ever be able to listen to. I mean, you're
Yeah,
probably always trying, but you're
I
stranded.
think if I did like EDM Cotton Eye Joe, I'd find a way off that island.
Okay.
But if I had like
keep you pumped up.
yeah, exactly. But if I had like just one CD, it'd probably be like the Live Aid Queen
All right. All right.
recording. I
Good
love
choice. Must binge TV series.
that. Ooh, my two favorite TV shows of all time: Ted Lasso, one of
Okay,
them.
haven't seen it yet. Got to try
Dude.
it. Yeah. Got to check it out.
Tony,
Everyone keeps telling me that.
forget. I think Ted Lasso is the greatest show that's come out in my lifetime.
Really?
Not kidding.
Oh, wow.
It is.
That's a strong
It
endorsement.
is a strong endorsement, and I mean it. I mean,
All right.
you'll watch it and you'll say, "Yep,
So
Leo's
I'll
right."
thank you. All right.
Another
I'll
great
put
one,
it on the list.
Shrinking. Shrinking was
Haven't
another
seen that one
great.
either.
Yeah.
All right. Would you rather bake or cook?
I'm not a cook at all. I'm
Neither?
neither.
Neither?
Yeah.
You grill?
Lily does all of that.
No grilling?
I will. Lily's like almost vegetarian. She really eats a lot of veggies and stuff. So I will cook the meat, but I don't really cook at all.
If Hollywood made a movie about you, who would you like to see cast as you?
I always thought of myself as a Jason Segel guy.
All right. I can
You
see
know?
that totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Happy-go-lucky rom-com guy.
He's funny too. Apple or Android?
Apple, Blue Bubbles,
Michigan State or Michigan?
MSU.
Favorite quote?
My favorite quote is also it's a Cheers. It's something we do at the bars, but it was a long-standing. My mom did it in high school, and it's some friends may come, some friends may go, some friends may peter out, but peter out or peter in, we're all friends until the end.
Solid. It's like an old
that
Irish
one.
proverb or something.
Yup.
Yeah. One last meal. What are you eating?
Mom's spaghetti, Lily's cookies, probably sushi. I'd like
You
like
and
a
Eminem
fried
with the mom's
sushi.
spaghetti.
Yep. Oh, my mom makes great spaghetti
All right.
with that Kohl's like cheap garlic bread.
Yeah.
That's like what
It's
I
the
like.
best stuff. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. It's like potato chips. The cheaper the bag, the
Oh,
better the
yeah.
flavor, right? Mm-hmm. Favorite place you've ever been?
So I went on a motorcycle trip down through Georgia and Tennessee's and stuff. I ended up in Lake Lure, which I think is in one of the Carolinas. But Lake Lure, Lure, beautiful place.
All right. You have. I already asked you that one. What is success to Leo Deason?
I think success is happiness and freedom.
Good answer. One random fact about you that most people wouldn't know.
Tough one. I don't know if I have a great random fact.
Come back to that one.
Yeah.
Totally irrational fear.
I don't think any of my fears are irrational.
They're all very, very
I
common.
think they're very rational.
Reasonable.
I'm horrified of space.
like outer space.
Outer space. I don't want to go up there, man.
That's a little irrational, man.
It's
because the
not
likelihood of you
irrational.
going there is very small. So it's a little like.
Well, yeah,
It's not
okay.
something to worry about. Like my
But if
wife's afraid of
anybody ever
sharks. I'm
asks-
like, you're never going to see a shark.
I think in my lifetime it's going to be a common thing to be able to go up to outer
All right,
space,
hey.
and I
You never
will
know.
absolutely not. I'm
You'll be
right here,
terrified of it.
grounded, not a chance.
All right. We've seen you boogie down on video. We have
Yup.
video proof. What's your go-to dance move?
Oh, I build my own for the moment. I wouldn't call
Call it the
one
Leo.
or the other. Yeah, I'm just
The
I'm in
Uncle Leo.
groove. Lily would say I do a lot of stir in the pot. Maybe flipping the cookies. I'm big on that
Q-tip?
one. Oh yeah.
I like it. What is your love language?
I would say acts of service.
Too. If you could broadcast a message to the entire world, what would it be?
Just take a breath. Take a deep breath. Take a look at your life. Say like, am I going where I want to go? And if not, change something. You know, you got one life to live, do it.
We get one shot.
Yep.
What is your proudest achievement to date?
To date, so I actually thought I would say like either fire or EMT school was a big one for me. Also, I'm a drone pilot. I have wanted to go to pilot school for a long time, and that was like the intro to aviation exam or whatever. And I took it and passed it. Just like grabbed the book, studied, and took it. And I was pretty proud that I was able to do that.
Yeah, very cool. Something important you've learned in your life that would help others succeed.
I think that taking that first step, I know we've kind of reiterated that, but like knowing that, hey, I want to make a change, I want to do something with this, even if you don't really know what that is, if you take a tiny step every day,
Yeah.
it turns into these incremental giant changes, right? I mean, I just did 75 hard. I know you've gone through 75 hard. I lost like, almost 40 pounds, and it didn't seem that hard.
No.
All it was a time commitment.
The daily discipline of it. Yeah.
Right. And that's the discipline is where, you're going to see those incremental changes turn into a different life for you.
And it builds your confidence. Like if I can do that, I can do this. And
Absolutely.
A lot of people just never even try. I mean, I always send my podcast off with you can't and never could until you tried.
Right.
Something my mom used to beat into me because, she would talk about what it really means to try. It's not just saying that you did it and you didn't like it, but like really try, really give it a go and put effort into it. And
yeah, I have a strong, after 75 hard, I would plug that to anybody. I have a strong sense that I could do anything for 75 days.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In your opinion, what sets successful people apart from unsuccessful?
I think greatly successful people care about others.
Love that. Okay, we're going to go back to the two questions you didn't get because we're at number 50. The one was, if you could resurrect one person from the dead, who would it be?
And we're just placing him in today's world.
Place him in today's world. Yep. Who would you put back here?
Who was the silent film actor? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, the guy that Jim Carrey played?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I know.
I think I'd bring him back.
I know who you're talking about.
For no reason.
Yeah.
Other than the fact that I think it'd be awesome to just have him in existence.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
Doing the same thing.
Okay, I can't remember his name. Mike might have to Google that for us.
Yeah, we can put it in a little
He
caption.
played in a movie called Man on the Moon. They made a movie about him called Man on the Moon, and Jim Carrey played in it. I can't remember. He was also in the show Taxi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I know who you're talking about. I just can't think of his name. But Mike is going to tell us here in a minute. And then random fact about you.
I mean, most people know I'm a big car guy. Random fact is
let's just go this. Favorite all time, like you could have any, not like a newer car, but like an old muscle car. What's your favorite?
I really love the oddball stuff. So my family's a big Mopar family. I really like the 62 Darts and Plymouth Furies, with
Kind of
the
boxy,
weird,
the
boxy and the weird chrome and the ugly front ends.
Big car guy. Yep.
But I just love
them.
I love the big ugly.
You probably
weird
like the
ones.
Ford Falcon, the Ford
Love
Galaxy.
That. Yup, love that.
Yeah, those are cool. Yeah, the old
always
Impalas.
Yeah. One of my future cars will be like a Cornet 440 or 500.
Right. Yeah.
I love those.
It's amazing how fast those big old, like huge cars are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do you figure it out yet? Yeah. It's Andy Kaufman. That's who it was. Yep. Andy Kaufman.
Bring him back.
Yeah, bring back Andy. That's the first time we've ever had that answer.
Hey.
All right, man. Question number 50. We made it. Are you ready?
Awesome. Yep.
We've talked a lot about happiness this podcast. It's something I talk about a lot. But with everything going on in your life right now, what makes you most happy these days?
Honestly, taking that 15-minute break of just solidarity and just like looking at my life, every day it brings me a little bit of happiness just to be like, all right, you know what? The last week, maybe this went wrong, maybe that went wrong, but like I did this great thing for this person. And I think that if I can do that once a week for the rest of my life and really make an impact, I can affect 1 million people with happiness.
Awesome. Well, you heard it here, man. Thanks for coming on the show. Studio audience, round of applause. All three of us, right? We appreciate your time. We appreciate you giving to the community and appreciate you sharing the good advice, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah,
I love being on here.
Absolutely, man. And get to know Leo. He's a good dude, great for our community. If you have a business idea, if you have an idea that's maybe good for somebody else, but you want to run it by him, if you want to start investing, reach out. Leo's a good guy, and he'll be able to help you and take that advice to heed. But before I let you go, we ask our guests to look into that camera and plug whatever you want to plug, man. So
plug whatever you want to plug.
You want to plug Woodworth. You want to
take
plug
that first step. Call Woodworth Commercial today.
Beautiful. That's the thumbnail right there. So, well, thanks again, man. We appreciate you coming on the show.
Yeah, absolutely appreciate it.
Thank you for watching. As my mother always said, you can't and never could until you tried. So go out there and try something great, my friends, and don't take the easy way out. We'll see you next time.